What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 10 surprising Norwegian inventions. You know, Americans really tend to think that basically everything was invented in America for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's because Americans just don't really know that much about other countries around the world in general, but it's actually fascinating to me that all these inventions that I use on a day-to-day basis that I have no idea where they invented. So today, I'm very interested to see what Norway has invented, what Norwegians have come up with that has changed the course of history. So this is very, very interesting to me. Let's take a look. Number one, the cheese slicer. The cheese slicer. Wait, this somehow this makes perfect sense. Somehow this works perfect. The cheese slicer somehow very Norwegian. I just can't believe that Norway was the first people to come up with an official, meaningful way to slice cheese. The cheese slicer, Ostehovel, is probably one of the most famous Norwegian inventions that is still considered typical Norwegian. And it's this. This is what we're talking about. Okay. This tool. Right, I actually had not seen this tool until I started watching YouTube videos about Norway. This is specifically for cutting cheese, and I saw how it works because you have to like know how to scrape the cheese with this thing. Like you do not see these things in America. I did not know what this thing was until I saw it for the first time. It's something that every house and apartment has in Norway, but it's not that common in other parts of the world. Exactly. Seriously, this cheese slicer, really, I've never seen one in real life. I've never seen it in America. It really is very Norwegian. So, this is absolutely true. This utensil is amazing for slicing cheese because in America we don't buy blocks of cheese so much. We usually buy like it's pre-grated and we're putting it on like tacos or something. It's already been cut up or we're melting it onto something, but we rarely slice the cheese in a block. I think that's why we don't have these, basically. It'll give you a thin and perfect slice of cheese every time you use it. It works for white cheese or brown cheese, right? We don't even have brown cheese. We Americans don't even like barely have cool, interesting cheeses anyway. So we don't really need cheese slicers. It's kind of sad, honestly. If you don't own a cheese slicer, make sure to get one. Okay. The invention of the cheese slicer took place in 1925, almost 100 years ago. It's coming up on the 100-year anniversary of the Norwegian invention of the cheese slicer, known as Ostehovel, by the way. Okay. Huh. Sold in Norway, mass produced. Yeah, this thing is iconic. Norway. Okay, let's continue. Aerosol cans? Number two is aerosol cans. Like these. Really? This is something that's used all over the world every day for a lot of things. This is very important. This is a very, very important invention. I had no idea aerosol cans were invented in Norway. The aerosol can is likely the Norwegian invention that most people have used. Yes. Because you will have used this if you've ever used a spray can. Spray cans are used everywhere for everything now. Wow. These cans are used for spray paint, hairspray, disinfectant, cleaning supplies. Yeah. The inventor was Eric Rothheim. He filed a patent for it in 1927. Another thing that's almost 100 years old. Took a long time to perfect the canister. Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, the aerosol can is probably one of the least appreciated pieces of amazing technology. Like, I have no idea how that thing works. Wow. I really like this list. These things are important. And now I know, very Norwegian. Salmon sushi. Oh, I do know this one. Finally, okay. Because I know, oh man, this is a fascinating one though. Americans do not know this about Norway, that Norway like exports a lot of salmon and exports it for a lot of Japanese sushi, right? Like that Americans have no idea, including me for the longest time. Wait, sushi? A Norwegian invention? Yeah, right? Japan is the country of original sushi, and they are inventors of sushi. However, Japan didn't eat salmon sushi till the 1980s when a Norwegian delegation visited the country and attempted to get Japan to import Norwegian salmon. Norway is so smart. Norway literally convinced Japan to buy all the salmon. That's very smart. A good business decision. Eventually, they struck gold with the salmon sushi. It is a staple of most sushi in Japan, Norway, and other countries around the world. Yeah, like that's no American would know this one. That salmon sushi is Norwegian in origin. Okay, number 4, the trip trap chair for children. I do not know what a trip trap chair is. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to Google it because there's no photo from what I can tell. What on earth is this thing? The trip trap chair? Let me make it a little bigger. What is this? Hold on, this is some kind of fancy baby chair. Wait, what is it? Let me... Hold up, hold the phone. What is this? What is this thing? Huh? How have I never... Whoa. What? This is fascinating. This is like the most interesting chair I've ever seen. And it's for kids? It's a fascinating design. The Trip Trap chair is insanely popular in Norway and other countries in the world. I can't really say I've seen this chair. It's arguably one of the best children's chairs. It has a base that can be moved to fit perfectly for the child using it, so you don't have to change the chair as they grow older. Cool. The original Trip Trap chair was made by a Norwegian company called Stoke. Wow. I feel like I gotta like buy this chair or something. I gotta figure out what this chair is all about. Okay. This is, I mean, honestly, I'm just learning about this chair for the first time, so that's nice. Okay, Norwegian invention. Trip Trap chair. Okay. Shalom? Not shalom. Shalom. Salom? Slalom? What is this? It's a sport. It's a skiing thing. Okay, yes, I think I've heard of this word. I just don't know what it means, but I've heard this word. Slalom? Slalom is a popular winter sport where you're skiing down a hill while going in a zigzag pattern between poles. I have seen this. I've seen this on TV. This makes sense. This is very Norwegian. Skiing, classic Norway. I mean, skiing was invented in Norway, and this is a type of skiing, so it makes sense. But I have seen skiing where you go between the poles in a zigzag in the Olympics. I have seen that. Okay, now I know what it's called, at least. Okay, cool. It's a very popular winter sport. It's also internationally famous, part of the Winter Olympics. Yes, it originated in Norway and was popular here, and now it's just a popular winter sport. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, but Norway, like, invented skiing. So of course it also invented this specific style. So this makes sense. Still cool. All right. Aquavit. There is a lot of stuff on this list that I have never heard of. Aquavit, is it a drink? It's a type of spirit. Yes, it's a drink. Hold up. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. Aquavit. Let me make it bigger. Huh. Aquavit. It's a type of alcohol. I've never heard of it. Akavit in Norwegian is a type of spirit that was originally invented in Norway in the 15th century. It's a unique spirit distilled from grain or potatoes, then flavored with herbs. How fascinating. I'm so curious what this tastes like. Wow, is this popular in Norway? We Norwegians tend to drink aquavit on Christmas Eve, okay, but not on many other occasions, okay. And it's popular in Germany. I've never heard of this. Wow, I am learning stuff today. Slalom, the Trip Trap chair, and aquavit, a spirit from Norway. Cool, very cool. Okay. 7, the harpoon cannon. The harpoon cannon. Norway invented the harpoon cannon. Scary, but also very fascinating. It's for like shooting whales. The modern harpoon cannon is one of Norway's many inventions. And this type of weapon was invented to make whaling easier. Oh my gosh, it is from whaling. The huge harpoon is filled with explosives that explode on impact, efficient for killing whales. Okay. The whale dies much faster. Oh my gosh. This is not what I expected, but these are surprising Norwegian inventions, living up to the name. Okay, the harpoon cannon. Norwegian invention. I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, whale meat is sold in Norway, isn't it? I've never had whale meat. I didn't actually know that people sold whale meat. Still, that'd be pretty interesting to try. It's pretty controversial since whale meat and whaling is banned in many countries in the world. Yeah, that's what I thought. But the harpoon cannon is still used for this hunt. Wow. Harpoon cannon. Not what I expected to learn today. All right, cool. Number 8, object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming, something to do with like programming, like software, code. Object-oriented programming languages have really changed the world. I imagine so. I'm not really a coder or anything or a programmer, but I can appreciate like this is so important to the modern day. Like any invention having to do with progressing programming, object-oriented programming, I can't exactly appreciate how important this is, but I think it's very important. The first of these languages was developed by 2 Norwegian programmers, Ole Johan Dahl and Kristen Nagard. That's awesome. The first object-oriented language was called Simula, and while it's not used today, it's the predecessor to C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is so important. This programming language, invented by Norwegians, what led to the most important programming languages that are used today. Like, even I've heard of C++, JavaScript, Python. Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't know Norway did that. That's amazing. That's led to countless technological advancements that this is probably one of the most important on the list. And cascading style sheets, CSS as well? Oh my gosh. Norway invented some of the most important programming languages ever. That's what I'm learning today. Let's stay in the computer world. Remember the fact that it was a Norwegian person that invented CSS, which I know is used to style websites. I have kind of dabbled in that. You use CSS to like design and style websites and other web tools. That's very cool, very important. If you've ever dabbled with making a website, you're probably aware of CSS. Yeah, exactly. All websites use CSS, probably this website that we're on right now. Wow, that's amazing. The first version of CSS was Norwegian. That is amazing. I have used CSS a little, and that is amazing that that's Norwegian. And programming. Wow. These blow my mind as much as like the harpoon gun and the aquavit and the slalom and the trip trap chair. This is a great list. This is fascinating. Norway has invented some very, very important stuff. And finally, number 10, the Birkeland-eyed process of synthesizing nitrogen fertilizer. This is very, very specific, and let me see if I can learn about it. Nitrogen-based fertilizers are the most used fertilizer today. So that has huge implications for like worldwide agriculture and farming. So, wow, these are such unique inventions that have impacted the world in such different ways. Like programming, and now we're talking about farming and agriculture, all from Norway. It's estimated that this type of fertilization is one of the main driving factors between the explosive growth behind the explosive growth of the human population. This process of helping synthesize nitrogen fertilizer helped the human population grow. That's kind of important. That's very important. The Birkeland-eyed process is a type of reaction where you convert nitrogen from the air into nitrate, which can be converted to fertilizer. Cool. A little above my head, but I kind of get what's going on. This reaction changed how easy and cost-effective it was to produce nitrogen-based fuel. Wow! It was invented in 1093? Not used any longer. Wow, this was invented 1,000 years ago, and it's been changing the world ever since by helping with farming and fertilizing. Wow. However, it was an important step. Yeah. Another part of the legacy is the creation of the company known as Yara. This is one of Norway's biggest companies. They are still producing nitrogen-based fertilizer, but more efficient than what we did 100 years ago. That's amazing. And here's the fertilizer from Yara. What? That's amazing. That is amazing. Wait, what is this? The paperclip is not actually from Norway. Okay. That's like a reverse invention. It's like the paperclip was not invented in Norway. Do a lot of people think the paperclip was invented in Norway? I would have believed it. Okay, so it's not. Just a bunch of other cool things? Okay. Wow, this was great. I loved this list. These were like, wow, at first it started with like the cheese slicer and aerosol cans and salmon sushi, and then took a whole other direction with stuff I've never heard of. Tip trap chair, shalom, aquavit, harpoon cannon, programming, and fertilizer. Wow. Norway has invented some very, very, very important stuff and very surprising stuff. I never would have thought of this. This was very entertaining to me. Very cool. Anyway, if you thought this was entertaining as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway, Norwegian culture, stuff about Norway I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.